Welcome to another episode of PCT306 General Dispensing 1. On this episode, we're going to be looking at solutions, but first, let's do a few interpretations of directions that can possibly come with any formulation. Now, we have a teaspoonful. Secondly, we have a dessert spoonful. And lastly, we have a tablespoonful. Now, a teaspoonful is usually interpreted as this: 1 5 ml spoonful. A dessert spoonful is 2 5 ml spoonful. And finally, a tablespoonful is 3 5 ml spoonful. Now take note of this. It is important that you write it this way so there is no confusion. Now, secondly, we're going to be looking at dilution of aromatic water. Now, because at the lab, most aromatic water you're going to be working with are in their concentrated form. And depending on the formulation, you may need to be working with a diluted aromatic water. So you have to do the dilution yourself. And to do that, you need to know how to do the proper calculation. So you know the quantity of the concentrated aromatic water you're using with the diluent. So for aromatic water, we have basically two types: chloroform and others. Others could be peppermint water, it could be cinnamon water, and so on. So for chloroform rather, you use 1:1. So assuming you are asked to prepare a solution or a mixture of 100 ml, what you're going to do is to get the LCM of this, literally 2. So you have it as 1 divided by 2 times 100 ml, which will give you 50 ml. Automatically, you're going to use 50 ml of the concentrated chloroform water and 50 ml of water. But usually, concentrated chloroform water is written as chloroform water DS. DS stands for double strength. Now, secondly, is others. Like I said, cinnamon, peppermint water, and the rest. The ratio for it is 1:39. Getting the LCM of these, you have 40, because it's like literally saying 1 plus 39, which is equal to 40. Now you have 1 divided by 40 times, assuming we're using 100 ml, like I said earlier, 100 ml. Then whatever you have here, whatever you get here, is the concentration, or the quantity rather, of the concentrated aromatic water you're using. Then you top it up with water. So this is what we have, the formulation that we have. We have 80 ml of kaolin mixture, BPC, and then we have direction, dessert spoonful, BD. Now, I know we haven't done any BPC product, but it is pretty straightforward. Unlike the bulk powders and other formulations that we've looked at, where every ingredient is provided in the question, this is quite different because you just have a kaolin mixture. What are you supposed to do exactly? So what you are to do is to look for your BPC and search for kaolin mixture BPC. The exact ingredients required for this formulation would be written down there in the BPC. So all you have to do is just copy it out. So the next thing to do here is not your table. Rather, you're supposed to bring back your superscription RX, and then you copy out all the ingredients for this formulation down before your table. This is the ingredients we'll be working with. We have light kaolin, 200 grams. We have light magnesium carbonate, 50 grams. We have sodium bicarbonate, 50 grams. Peppermint emulsion concentrated, 25 ml. We have chloroform water DS, 500 ml. And we have water to 1,000 ml. Now, anytime you see something like this, to whatever meals is being provided, that stands, or that shows that whatever you have here is the vehicle. In this case, water is our vehicle. Now, a vehicle is a medium in which a medicine or a medicament is administered. I'm sure we all know that by now. It could be anything. But here, water is our vehicle. Now, the next thing to do is your table. Have the ingredients, the given formula, and the working formula this way. For our calculation, the first thing to do is to solve for your multiplying factor. Now, you have MF, which is equal to your working formula divided by your given formula. Now, what you were asked to prepare is 80 ml of kaolin mixture. Hence, your working formula is 80 ml, and then your given formula is 1000. If you could remember your ingredient, they said water to 1000. So your formulation in its entirety or totality is 1000. So you have 1000 mils. Now doing this, you have 0.08. Now you can go ahead and multiply each of the ingredients with 0.08. So you have this times 0.08. You have this times 0.08 times 0.08 times 0.08. Now, coming to chloroform water DS, this formulation requires you to use chloroform water in its concentrated form. So as it is being given to you in the lab in its concentrated form, you do not need to dilute. You use it the way it's being provided in the lab. So you can just go right ahead and just multiply this by 0.08. And lastly, water to 100 ml times 0.08. Now, if you punch these figures correctly in the calculator, everything here should amount to 80 mils. That way you know that you're on track, because kaolin mixture that you're to prepare is 80 mils. When you're done with your calculation, you come to the column working formula and fill it up like this. For methodology, we have an amber bottle was pre-calibrated to a mark of 80 mils with water, after which the water was discarded. Light magnesium carbonate 4 grams, sodium bicarbonate 4 grams, and light kaolin 16 grams were each weighed and transferred into a clean dry mortar. The ingredients were triturated thoroughly using doubling up technique. A small amount of water was added to make a slurry. The slurry was transferred into the pre-calibrated bottle, and the bottle was further rinsed with water until all the slurry was successfully transferred. Peppermint emulsion concentrated 2 ml and chloroform water DS 40 ml was measured and transferred into the bottle. The mixture was then made up to volume with water. The bottle was capped, shaken, cleaned, labeled, and packaged and sent as directed. Now, if you look at the methodology, you'll notice that the slurry was made with water. And the reason why water is being used to make the slurry here is because water is the vehicle. The essence of slurry is so that you can successfully transfer all your ingredients from the mortar, your powdered ingredient from the mortar, into the bottle. For our label, we have this. Don't forget, it's going to be in a black ink because kaolin mixture BPC is an internal preparation. So first, for the auxiliary label, we have shake the bottle, before use. Now, mixtures are usually prepared in bottles, and that is why we have this. Now, next we have kaolin mixture, BPC, 80 ml. For our direction, we have take. If you can remember, it's a dessert spoonful, so 2 5 ml, spoonful, 2 times a day, which is also 12 hourly. Finally, you have your name here and you have the date here. You have Department of Pharmaceutics and Medicinal Chemistry. You have your uses and your references, which you obtain from the BPC as well.
These tutorials is brought to you from the Office of the Academic Director of the National Fellowship of Christian Pharmacy Students, CASU.